In our last video, I kept talking about the bump stops. This is just the bump stop I'm going to make, just a rubber bumper isolator. They're the original ones that came off the bottom of the frame rail from the 93 truck. We're just going to cut out some 3/16 steel plate, and basically this is going to mount like this. Well, actually it'll go underneath. We're going to put a couple of triangular gussets that are going to come down out to here, pop 2 holes, real simple. This is a real simple, cheap way to reuse some stuff that we already had. I don't know if you've ever been in a lowered truck, car, or whatever it is that bottoms out on the frame rails, but I just think it sounds so unprofessional at bang. We're going to have it so close to that frame that if there's a little bit of a load in this truck, it's inevitable it's going to hit at some point going over a train track or an entryway to a driveway. But if we can minimize that banging, that clunking that happens, I think that'd be great. For me, that's just a preference I have. I can't stand that. So this is a simple way. This will hit this this part right here is rubber. It's a dense, real hard rubber. And this will just come down against the top of the axle tube, which you'll see later on in the video. We're gonna get these brackets made up. We're gonna weld them all together, get our holes poked in them. Then we'll tack them to the inside of the frame rail. After that, we're gonna start taking that rear end apart so that we can do the axle flip. And we'll show you guys how we do that as well. So follow along and check this one out. One down. We'll sandblast those. So guys, just so you know at home, even though this is brand new fresh metal, this mill scale that's on here, this has got this smooth kind of dark coating on it. It's very hard for paint to stick to that. So if we were to just weld this on the truck and not sandblast it on the truck, it would just, the adhesion would be really poor. So what I'll do is we'll just glass bead this before we actually weld it on the truck. And we're just going to weld it here, here, and up these backs. We'll just MIG weld it on the truck, but on the frame rails. But what I like to do is we'll just glass bead the whole thing. That way it roughs up the surface so that the prep work when it's welded on the truck is a lot easier. Although, like I said, this metal looks nice and clean and new, but getting paint to etch to this sometimes is real tricky. And to get a DA or something in these little spots when you're all done is going to be a pain in the neck. So if you got time and you got a glass bead cabinet, sandblast cabinet, whatever it is, hit these little parts, weld them on. That way when you paint things, it's going to stick real good. Nice and straight. So this is the end result. We got our bumper on the bottom of this plate, right? The gussets, they never have to hold any weight pulling down, right? So this will never be pulled down on. It's always going to get pushed up if the rear end was to come up and hit the bottom of it. So that's why you would put the gussets on top like this. You could put the gussets on the bottom and do it a little bit different, but this makes the most sense because it's trying to break this piece off, right? So we're going to weld it here and here, and we're going to weld up the back of these gussets, and then this gives that angle here, which you have to push up into this frame rail and damage it. Now, in this case, we have this 1/4-inch plate here, which is way overkill, but that's what we had. It was already cut out. Might as well use it, right? This is going to end up going just like that. So it's going to look pretty damn cool, I think, and it's going to work really well. I think what we're going to do next is, now the rear end should come up straight into here, but we've got these made. I think what we'll do next is I think we should start working on the rear end, and we'll take the rear apart. We'll get the prep ready for flipping the axle. We'll show you guys how that's done. It's really just gonna be a matter of Sean and I popping the U-bolts off. We're gonna have to cut the existing perches off, so we'll just cut those off with a cutoff wheel. Clean up the areas where that was, and then we're gonna slide the rear end in place. We'll put the new perches in, and we're just gonna sit it on those new perches. So basically, the rear end housing is gonna be sitting on top of the leaf springs, and that's what they mean by axle flip. You might hear people talk about axle flip. You hear this all the time when something's lowered. And then sometimes if someone's lifting something, they put the axle underneath the springs like this is. on something that might be done with the axle on top of the spring. But more likely you're going to hear an axle flip, meaning someone's lowering something, and you're going to move this axle tube is now going to mount it on top of the spring. So you can see that right there is what? I mean, that's giving you what, a 6-inch, right? Would that be a 6-inch drop just by doing that? I mean, to go put that from the bottom up to the top, I mean, that's pretty significant of a drop. That's 5 to 6 inches that you're going to gain just by doing that. So we already have other brackets on this truck that have dropped it. I mean, this is going to end up being like a 8 to 10 inch drop on this thing, which is way too much. All right, Sean, unfortunately, you're probably going to have to put the camera down and hold that spring, because that thing's going to go flying when this pops loose. All right, just put that over there somewhere. Perfect. All right, that's good. Let it lean down on one side. Then we'll get this spring in first. Slide it forward more to me. Come to me a little bit. So I sort of wish that I would have just done this in the first place. I didn't plan on ever C-notching this frame when I first did this. That's why I bought the lowering shackles and the bracket in the front here, the frame bracket. This was also repositions the spring location. So the problem was it wasn't low enough. And the only way to go lower than that was at its max drop. The only way to go any lower than that was to do what we did with the C-notch. Well, now with the combination, it's just too much, I think. So we may have to move this around, but we'll see. I mean, maybe it'll be really low and we'll love it. I don't know. Of course, we're going to have to get the bed back on and do some other playing around. Man, that's low. I feel like the bed would almost hit the ground right now, right? Mm-hmm. Definitely another at least 5 to 6 inches of drop compared to what it was before. That's awesome. Wow, that's low. I can almost make it hit. So that's going to be, I think that's going to be way too low. And guys, look at how dropping that down and compressing those springs, when I set that rear end in, when it was up on the jacks, that pinion was pointing up in the air. Now by setting it down, the pinion's pointing down. So it goes to show you how important it is to get your ride height where you want it and then lock all that stuff in. Thanks for watching, guys. We're not going to tack anything else in. It's getting late, 9 o'clock here, but I think you got the idea of what we're trying to accomplish. And keep watching for me to finish this thing up and be able to move it. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. See you later.